Hey guys, Mark on here. Today we're gonna do some more Storybooth reaction. Okay. Some more. Mark also pretending that it's my fault even though it's not reaction. Shut up, Gaming Sauce. So today we're just going on a normal video, as you can see right here, Okay, so this is wrong. Right here, the 5 is wrong. That 5 is wrong. That is a 10, I think. I don't know. Subscribe to our channel. Vlog 1, day 1. Vlog 1, day 1. That's a terrible thing. Let's see it. Let's see it. Come on. No. Storybooth. Oh, there's Missy. Oh, dear. Or Storybooth. Yep. Oh, they have 2 mil. Okay, what's this? Don't, damn. Okay. Okay, this one. No! Okay.
About a year ago, my great-grandmother died. Everyone was pretty devastated, especially my mom, who was really close to my great-grandmother. A few days after her funeral, we saw a dime on her kitchen table randomly. I didn't think anything of it, but the moment my mom saw the dime, she started crying her heart out again, as she had been doing the past few days. I asked her why she was crying over a dime on a table, and she told me a story that if dead loved ones wanted to try and communicate with living relatives, they would leave dimes around the house for them. I immediately started thinking about paranormal things I've seen on YouTube. And I guess I found it pretty cool. And honestly, I found dimes everywhere. That was actually starting to creep me out a little bit. Like, I went to my friend's house, and there was a random dime sitting on her bed. As I went home from my friend's house that night, I told my mom out loud that I was starting to get a little bit creeped out by all the dimes. And the moment I said that, the dimes never showed up again. Which creeped me out even more because it's as if she was hearing me say that I didn't want the dimes around anymore, and she listened to me. But then, other than the dimes, I also was pretty creeped out around my own house. I was sitting at my computer one day, and all of a sudden I heard footsteps and loud noises from behind me. I turned around and there was no one there. I didn't think much of it, until all of a sudden the noises got louder and louder, as if they were coming closer and closer to me. I started panicking, and as they got louder and louder, I ran into my room that was across the hall and slammed the door behind me. I was pretty scared. I've been disturbed since, and I still do miss my great-grandmother. I do hope that she's still watching over me, and hope she knows that I was just a little creeped out back then. And that if she does want to bring those dimes back, she can go right on ahead. I wouldn't mind.
Make it rain. Okay, what's the next one we should watch? And hen. Oh dear. phone looks sad. Ugh.
So on this particular day in the year 1986, the most wonderful woman in the world, my grandmother, was watching me. She put me in a high chair. She turned around for a moment. And what did I do? I felt the need to stand and dance to the rhythm of my heart. And I started to shake my little booty all around, and suddenly the swaying and movement of my little pudgy body caused my high chair to tip over with me in it. She turns around at the last moment to see me land on the ground, and the weight of me in the high chair snapped my arm. Break number 1. Now let's fast forward a little bit. I'm 4 years old. I'm playing on the playground. I see all these kids having the time of their life. For some reason, in my mind, they look like Olympians. And then there's me, an athletically challenged 4-year-old. But I was like, yeah, I'll show you. So I get on the monkey bars. I'm having a great time. And then suddenly I decide I don't want to be up so high anymore. So I let go. Snap, crackle, pop. Break number 2. So in this story, time passes. And around the age of 11 years old, I love baseball. At least I think I love baseball. To be honest, I was never really good at baseball, but I wanted to play because that's what all my friends did. On this particular day, it was my turn to go up to bat. I swing, I crack the ball, and I just sprint to first base. I decided to slide into that base. Then guess what I heard? Snap! Whoops! Break number 3. And as I'm healing from this third broken arm, I start to think, maybe I shouldn't play sports. I'm not good at them. I don't enjoy going to practice or anything like that. But I was like, I have no choice. If I want to have some type of social life and be accepted, I gotta love sports. Once I got the cast off, I said I'm going back out to the field and I'm gonna keep playing baseball, dadgummit. So now I'm 13 years old, sporting a beautiful butt cut. So I'm out playing baseball once again, and we can all see where this story is going. I hit the ball, I go to first base. They say rounded, go to second. I go to second base. Guess what I do? I slid. Safe! Holy mother of Zeus! I didn't break my arm, guys! Then the coach said, keep going. And I was like, yeah, man, I am gonna keep going. I put my arm down trying to make it look cool as I slide into third base. And then what do I hear? And this time I didn't cry. It wasn't dramatic. I felt like a jaded, grumpy, 80-year-old man. Now let's fast forward to 10th grade. When I woke up and had an epiphany one morning, I realized, Josh, doing all these sports things and trying to fit in with all the popular kids, that doesn't make you happy. What makes you happy? What do you truly love? The answer was clear. I love to entertain. But then when I was 18, I made a big decision and I moved to New York City to pursue one of the big loves of my life, this industry. Whether I'm 2 years old and dancing in a high chair, or I'm in my 30s and I'm documenting my life or making my next music video, that's me. That's Josh. So take my advice, internet. Don't waste years and years of your life trying to fit in to an image that you think other people will like just because that's popular. Do what you like. My advice to you, avoid the metaphorical broken arm and really listen to who you are.
Important message, guys. Thank you for 8 subscribers.
Oh my god, we totally jumped off the cliff and swim all the way ashore because the dog chased us all the way in.
Pennywise the clown. Oh, dear. Okay, what's this one? I haven't even read the title.
I have cerebral palsy, or it's called CP, and I was born with CP. Almost died at the hospital. I never gave up. I spent 7 days in the NICU, and my parents were finally able to take me home on Thanksgiving Day. My first elementary school, I would fall down, and the kids would laugh at me. Call me stupid. And what problem do you have? I cried. And my teacher was most mean. I was scared and called names. I began to hate school. And I cried, and I was depressed and upset. And I wanted to stay home. Mom said, "What happened?" And I told Mom. And so we went to look at a different school, and it was awesome. A lot of deaf people, and I was not alone. And a few had CP too. I learned a lot. And I had friends. And I played baseball. I was good at baseball, and my parents are very proud of me. I am happy and not depressed.
Oh my god, we totally jumped off the cliff that is from all the way ashore because the dog chases us all over the in.
Okay, this one, guys. Enjoy. That was embarrassing.
On the first day of kindergarten, I was crying my eyes out after class. My mom had overlooked informing me that after school she wouldn't be picking me up, I'd be going to daycare. But when she wasn't there, I was a 5-year-old puddle of tears. That is, until a bright little girl cheered me up by asking me about myself. That girl's name was Sarah, and for 15 years, she was my best friend in the entire world. We only lived 2 blocks away from each other, so every morning before school we would bike to the corner of our conjoining streets, awaiting our smiling reunion. Our friendship never faltered. If I needed someone to go to Costco with me for a quick errand, she was my girl. If I needed to go to an awkward high school dance, I was comforted by Sarah's presence. We grew up together and graduated high school as a pair. During college, Sarah developed mental health issues. Her sophomore year was a lonely time for her. Depression and anxiety overwhelmed her, and she came home from winter break seeking treatment. For the next 5 months, she was really suffering. I did my absolute best to support her via text, calls, and FaceTime, encouraging her to give it her all to get better. Unfortunately, at the end of those 5 months, Sarah chose to stop fighting her battle and ended her life. A decision which halted mine. I had never lost someone that close to me. It was just before finals, a challenging time on its own, and I wanted to be able to study so I could finish out my sophomore year strong, but I was really weakened by the grief I was experiencing. It was hard for me to sleep. I tossed and turned at night, unable to stop thinking about how much I missed her. During the day, I felt waves of sadness where all I could do was cry and wish that it was all a bad dream. My journey with grieving, while sad, was healthy. I shared what I was going through with my roommate, Talene, and she would cook me meals when I didn't feel like it and patiently listen to my concerns. My boyfriend provided a reliable source of comfort and endless hugs. I also confided in my occupational therapy professor, who did know what I was going through because her own brother had committed suicide. She gave me plenty of helpful resources, from quotes to studies of grief and healthy ways to cope with pain. She also wisely said that while I will always have a hole in my heart for Sarah, the wound around that hole that is so tender right now will heal as I find closure. I will never stop missing Sarah. Mental illness is not widely understood. You are allowed to feel pain and, like Sarah, to be tired of fighting mental illness, but you are not allowed to give up. We are all the authors of our lives, and instead of ending your sentence with a period, choose to do so with a semicolon. Breathe, pause, regroup, and then seize another day. You've gotten through every day before this, and you will get through the next.
Okay, guys, this is called.
Why are you acting like there's a video?
Cause there is.
Oh my god, we totally jumped off the cliff and swam all the way ashore because the dog chased us all over again.
Okay, what's the next one? No.
Oh, a Ouija board. What's that?
I was diagnosed with depression ever since I was 14. Living
Let's
with
see what
depression
people
feels
want.
like there's a ticking bomb inside you, counting down.
On Friday the 13th, my friends and I decided to plan a sleepover. So we decided to have it at my friend Marissa's house. So we were at her house and we had some dinner. It was really good. We actually had some masticholi. We were just sitting at the table talking, and one of my other friends, we'll call her Haley, she was like, oh my gosh, we should go play the Ouija board now, because they knew that I brought it. So I was like, okay, let's go in the basement, it'll be like fun. So we're playing, and I start getting really freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get possessed, like, oh my gosh. Because I was so scared that, like, because we talked to this really mean ghost, I thought we were, but it was really spelling something else out. Tears are, like, streaming down my face, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, so I kept saying, like, I could see it. It was, like, in the mirror. It was really scary. So then I was like, we need to talk to it again to see what it wants. We talked to this ghost named Dan, and his wife's name is Gina, and he kept saying 40 cuts in the bathtub, and then like 790, we looked it up, it means love and like comfort. So we were like, do you want us to love you? And he said he has a daughter. And eventually we got this story that he had a daughter and she was like kidnapped and then she like killed herself, I guess. She died, and it was really, really sad. So we felt bad, and I kept wanting us to dig him up. And he said he was under the house, he was under the floor. So like I was getting really scared, and like he said the ghost girl's name was Erin, and she was 12 and she was turning 13 the next day. So we were like, do you want us to sing happy birthday? And he said yes, and we said at midnight, and he said no, and I said what time, and he said 6. So I was like, oh gosh, we had to wake up at 6 in the morning. So then like everyone started getting creeped out, so we had to like stop because not everyone was comfortable with it. So we stopped playing, and I put it away, and I was terrified. I was like, I'm not comfortable with some of the things he said. I was just like really upset. So I called my sister, and I was like, dude, this is what happened. And I told her the story, and I was like, I am so scared. I was crying. Like, it was bad. I was crying really hard, and I was like, I don't want to get possessed. So she's like, oh, it'll be okay. Just be glad that you said goodbye. I mean, you're still stupid. And I was like, okay. So I hung up on her because I was mad. And I just got so scared, and my anxiety got really bad that I was like, I can't sleep over. So I texted my mom, and my mom is like, okay, I'll come and get you. And my mom, she took me home, and she's like, leave that board in the garage. It is not coming in the house. So I was like, okay. When I woke up at 7, and I did sing Happy Birthday to Erin because I promised Dan that I'd sing at 6. So I sang Happy Birthday, and I'm good. I just don't like being home alone like I am right now. But that's my story of my scary Ouija board.
Okay, we might do the last one. Oh my god.
Oh my god, we totally jumped off the cliff and swam all the way ashore because the dog chased us all over again.
Okay, this will be the last one.
We used to live in a 100-year-old Victorian house that reminded me of a haunted mansion. The type of house that looked like there were ghosts walking through the hallways and skeletons hiding in the closets. One night, I was laying awake, wondering why the dogs were barking and whimpering so much. I tried to sleep, but I had a bad feeling in my stomach. Just when I thought I could sleep, all of a sudden, a big, shadowy black figure swept across the walls of my room. It was then I realized it was a bat. I rolled out of bed as fast as I could with a blanket over my head, crawling military style into Shalom's room. I continued to scream, and Shalom, not knowing what I was screaming about, started screaming with me. We both saw the bat fly into the hallway, and she jumped over me and shut her door. With all her screaming, it was surprising that Shiloh did not wake up. We screamed at him to wake up. Shasha joined us as we made a mad dash towards our parents' room, which was on the 4th floor. Everybody was now upstairs, huddled together in terror. My mom on the phone talking to animal control, and our dad, dressed for war, heading back down towards the stairs to find the bat. We thought we were safe, until we overheard animal control telling our mom that the bat would find its way to the highest point of the house. We all looked at each other in horror. We realized our parents' room was the highest point of the house. We heard a rustling in the closet. All chaos broke loose when the bat burst through the opening in the closet door. Shasha grabbed the food she had been eating and headed for the stairs. Shalom grabbed sleepy Shiloh and headed for the stairs. My mom grabbed the phone and headed for the stairs. And I grabbed my blanket, covered my head. We all passed my dad, who was now wondering what was going on and why everyone was screaming and heading downstairs towards the bat. We all slammed the door shut again and locked our dad upstairs with the bat. Our dad couldn't catch the bat, so we ended up spending the entire night in the basement, as far away from the top of the house as possible. We stayed awake all night, playing Monopoly, watching TV, playing cards, and when that didn't work, swapping turns, keeping watch until Animal Control came in the morning. Animal Control caught the bat with a sticky trap. Animal Control told us we might see another bat because it may smell the trail of the first one. We scoffed at that. Surely this would be the only one. 1 week later, I noticed a familiar black shadowy reflection flying right behind me. I dashed out the door. I stood outside, watching as it was flying around, heading upstairs to where we all knew it was going to make itself at home. We knew where we were heading though. We moved out that night and never came back.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna have one more funny song.
This mailbox is mine, and this triagonal sign, that blue balloon, the month of June, they're mine, 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 mine. The Ziggy's sweets are mine, that birdie's tweets are mine. The city streets above the
Stingy, go play Grand Theft Auto 5, please.
It all belongs to me, everything that I see, north, south, east, and west. I caress it, 'cause I possess it. I'm stingy, and it's mine. And this instrumental break is also mine. The floor and ceiling are mine. All your feelings are mine.
How do you know that?
You always knew it. That's all there is to it. It's mine, 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 mine. That's what I said. It's mine.
You just did Grand Theft Auto in Lazy Town. GTA 5, GTA 10, Lazy Town. You're playing as Stingy. Dead.
I watch Lazy Town.
They have like 380 videos.
Yeah, let's not watch them.
Oh dear. Oh my god. 500 results for mine. Oh my god. Okay, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, road to 10 subscribers. 10. We got 8. So we need 10. 5. Just watch out for Stingy!